to Never Boring. Today I want to talk about rejection and criticism, because these are two things that virtually always hurt us. You may like it, you may lump it doesn't really matter, because our emotions are hurt, our feelings are hurt when we get criticized. Sometimes criticism, of course, is absolutely all right, and especially as a leader, you need to be able to listen carefully what people are saying. Your own ego, your own emotions are of absolute no importance in the moment. You need to get that clear in your head, because only then can you function. So when something like that happens, what do? Today, something like that has occurred to me. And indeed, someone I do love dearly with all of my heart said some very harsh words that essentially caused a lot of pain, guilt, and shame in me. In the past, my initial response would have been to rip into this person, basically as much as if this was an assault, as much as if this person had come at me with a knife. I would have first shot and then asked questions. Today, things were different. I had the serenity, calmness, and humility to completely shut up, to encourage the person to talk and to come across and give me all of the opinions that mattered to this person, regardless if I felt that they were justified, or regardless if they were correct or misperceived, etc. This completely took the air out of any row or out of any fierce discussion, and after staying quiet and listening, I was able to put my point across in equally calm way. Unfortunately, in this particular scenario, there was no reconciliation, there was no resolve. It was very unfortunately that we essentially parted ways in agreeing to disagree. But it is what it is. Sometimes you can't do anything about that. You can't just change a person's opinion just like that, especially if there are raw emotions on that person's side, rightly or wrongly so. So ultimately the question is, how do you deal with such criticism? The way I done it today, in the immediate setting, in the immediate meeting, I was proud of myself. But thereafter I was very upset, hurt, and did feel all the negative emotions. Having said that, do I disagree with this person? Quite a few facts that the person actually said were factually really true. In fact, all of the things that he said were true. And the truth reflected his way of seeing things. As always, there are three sides to a story: his, hers, and the truth. And in this case, that's exactly the same thing. It doesn't really matter what exactly had occurred, but I want to talk to you about this kind of conflict resolution, and more important, afterwards, how do you deal with these emotions yourself? Today I'm filming here in my beautiful garage, and there's a damn good reason why I do so, because in the past I would have come here and would have drunken many a bottles of vodka that I had strategically hidden around the place so that no one can see them. These were very different times, many, many moons ago. But that was then my typical response to being challenged, to being hurt, to being demoralized. All the things that happen in daily life, either fully on purpose or by accident. So there were some very bad memories here, but there are also some very good memories, like right now. Instead of getting pissed, I'm actually talking to you and explaining what has occurred to me, how I dealt with, and maybe give you an idea what you could do in the future if you find yourself on the receiving end of a broadside from someone you care about. May that be a co-worker, a family member, a friend. It will happen. There's no doubt about that. It will happen. But I guess that is truly where my necklace comes in. And I'll show you a close-up shortly. But this thing I carry around my neck since I came out of rehab. What is on it? Well, nothing else than a serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. These are beautiful words. When I heard them first in rehab, I thought, wow, did someone write a poem just for me? Only then did I learn about the serenity prayer, and we indeed prayed it before every meal in rehab. It continues to mean so much for me, and it encapsulates essentially what my core philosophy nowadays is. That doesn't always make it easier, but often it does. Today it took a few hours of pity party for me to get my head clear. I went to this sad place, listened to some music, was alone, and just accepted that I felt shit. And the most important bit, though, is I allowed myself that time to take that time out. But I didn't go there and pitch my tent and stayed there for a long time. No. I went there, had a pity party, and then forced myself out of my room, forced myself to put one step literally in front of the other. Have a coffee, think what you want to do. And in this case, I decided to do a film and talk about rejection and difficult situations and how I dealt with it, and maybe give you an idea of what you can do in the future. I have outlined that in a far better way, in a more structured way, as an action plan in my book that should soon come out, and then you can just refer that and go back to the relevant page. But in a nutshell, yes, you need to make sure that you fight battles that you can win, and if you need to lick your wounds after a battle, that is normal. That is all right. That is the way it is. So don't get too upset with these things. Ask yourself if the other person actually might have a very valid point, and that it is time to eat humble pie because you fucked up. Or might it be that the other person is so wrong it's no longer funny, but there's not much you can do about it. So one way or the other you need to make a call, but hopefully you can come up with better solutions than to down a bottle of vodka, like in my case, or 2-3 bottles of wine, and just tell them how angry I am, therefore I'm getting pissed like a fart. The moment you put it like that, it sounds a bit shit, doesn't it? Anyhow, look after yourself. Speak to you soon.